But to be fair, my mindset is more of I spend my time and pay my travel fee to come to this show. So I might as well play as much as I can. I will just keep asking people, casual, 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 casual.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Refresh Step where you recover yourself for the main step. I'm your host for today, tomorrow and the foreseeable future, Theodore Lu. And I'm with the hottest battler in the UK and at Murder Battle Spirits English Wiki, Ayumu Seiki.
Hello.
Yeah, so this is usually where I will be asking Ayumu how he is doing, but today we don't have just Ayumu. We have a very special guest today. The Queen of the Pentans, the winner of the Battle Spirits Saga Grand Tour in Mülheim, Germany. So let's welcome Julia. Introduce yourself.
Hi. How's it going?
It's very good for me. Well, for the most part, at least. But
it would be perfect. You said it's very good for me, and then you just make like 3 coughs or something like
that. Oh no. Oh no, that is a little bit far-fetched, but even more bird. We went from Pentan to Farfetch just because Ayumu is here, so we need to get some Pokemon references in as well. But yeah. Nice. How are you doing? So how are you doing, Julia?
I'm doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually in the midst of testing set 6 here. My teammate Harry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the Nessus.
Exactly.
Yes, the Nexus.
The
yes.
Nexus guest feature.
Yeah, the Nexus mention. So this is our unofficial collab with the Nexus. One day we will get Harry by himself. We will intro get Harry by himself. But today he will be something like that ghost thing from Yu-Gi-Oh. He will be like whenever Julia wants to needs to think about what to say, Harry will be there, like kind of like becoming the voice of reason, just like Ayumu is my voice of reason.
Exactly. That's the full reason why I wanted him here. He's like my publicist in case I start saying the wrong thing. He can, pull me inside and tell me to stop speaking.
It's fine. We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it.
I don't want to give away all of our secrets, like that's really it was like I'm sure I'll just start rambling about, all of the secret tech we're coming up with for worlds and cut that out in post.
Nice. Oh yeah, world is coming up. You guys are so who are going in this chat except for me because I still don't have an invite unfortunately, but yeah.
I mean, I'm still like half and half deciding.
Yeah. Harry and I are definitely gonna be there.
Yeah.
Gotta represent the team and represent even if it's spiritually for the the EU. So
Yes. Because I still remember really clearly like when how to say, like when we have that problem when you were registering, like one of my mentor's answer is like, yeah, just tell the TO she is spiritually and pretty much factually an EU player despite being an American.
I mean, I've played in more EU events than I have in the US. And it's mostly because I think it's just I'm closer with the EU player base and my team is also so it just makes sense.
True. But yeah.
Okay.
That indeed made sense. But I kind of remember vaguely that when I went to the Pro Tour, I met this Canadian guy who said that it is much cheaper for him to kind of like go to the EU events compared to like going to the US events. But like whenever like there's a US event that is like out of your state, like how was it for you actually? Is it like actually cheaper to just go to Europe?
In some ways it's almost the same. Kind of like, and I would prefer to go to an event where I know people for the most part. I considered going to Seattle, but I definitely went when I found out Harry was going to be in Seattle regardless, and so it just made sense to go there as well.
Mm.
And we made some new friends.
Mm.
I also did well at that one, which was good, and that helped sort of inform what I did when I played in Germany, since it was the weekend before. So
nice. Yeah, I think like you're pretty much on the roll recently, right? If I'm not wrong, like even before you won in Germany, you get like second place in Seattle.
Yes. Yep. So I finished second in Seattle, and then after Germany, I went to Santiago, Chile, and I finished third.
Nice.
I've got the gold, silver, bronze, or silver, gold, bronze. I guess in that order.
Nice. So now you have to just get the fourth place now, and then you will have the complete top 4 arc.
Exactly. I mean, hopefully, I mean, it would be nice regardless. So
it's like keep going down, get the 4th place, then the 5th place, then the 6th place.
It started going up, and then I kind of went down a little. So maybe it would be nice to go, like I could start over again and then keep going. That would be cute.
Yeah. Let's keep the maximum at 4. So after you get the 4th place, you'll get like first place again.
Yeah. I would think like it would be if I have to take 4th at Pro Tour, I'd take first at Worlds. That would be great.
Exactly. That actually checks out.
I was like, that might be. It's like a good like anime storyline. They fall a little bit, and then in the end, like rise triumphant. I'll take it. It's got to have a good storyline. If it doesn't have a good storyline, what are you doing, right?
Exactly. Because like I think like whenever we are talking about like playing TCG professionally, it's always about the story, right?
Exactly.
Like, yeah. I still remember vividly that my friend, like whenever he talked about one of his favorite fighting game player, it's always about that. Yeah, this guy is a father. And then he plays part-time because he have to juggle between doing work and being a father, and then like playing this game professionally. So I was like, yeah, that is a really nice story indeed. So what do you think will be your story aside from like the storyline of like the arc of like, yeah, so you finally how do you let's start from the beginning. Like when do you start playing card games? Like what is your first game, and how do you came to Noble Spirit Saga actually?
Yeah. Actually, that's a great question. So, I played Pokemon. Was my first card game, and this was just as a kid, and I love Pokemon still. And I was pretty good at it. And did some like regional competitions when I was there, and I did well enough. I won some like regionally things, at least for my area, and people were accusing me of cheating because I was 11 years old and I was beating like the 30-year-olds. And they would request deck checks on me. They would request judges to come and sit with me, and I still beat them. And then that turned into, not all of them were mean-spirited, but a couple of them saw that I was pretty good at like coming up with deck lists and like actually playing them. So they said, hey, you might like this other game, and introduced me to Magic and just gave me some free Magic cards. My first reaction was they're not as cute as Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And so
I never got into Magic because of their art style as well.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, like with time, I did get more into Magic, and I play Commander with friends. I played some competitive Modern. I had a friend too in New York. We used to basically farm Modern events. Like if you win them, you win cash prizes and cards, and you can sell that sort of thing. So it was just like a fun, like little side hobby that we did for a little bit. But through just a random friend who basically from playing card games said, oh, I'm starting this new game. do you want to test it out? And I was like, well, I don't know if I really need another card game, but like maybe I guess it could be fun. And there was the prizing and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, whatever. And we bought some starter decks, and I really, really liked the white one. Elk was just coolest card. And so
Yes.
and from there it just kind of snowballed a bit, and I guess it ended up to where I am now, which was, you know, it was a gradual thing. You know, I did well the first year, at least locally, and decently, I guess, first year, but I feel like I'm starting to come into my stride a little bit more. But just, I guess I'm a little bit of a slow starter, but better to start late than never.
Indeed. Because like, while you do have like a slow start, but you do have like you pretty much like have a hockey stick progression in which like, yep, the start might be a little slow, but once you go up, you just go up.
Yeah. I think it's really kind of random, but not that we're, you know, co-sponsored, but Nexus did with several other groups did the oh god, it was the Festival of the Four Guardians.
Oh, right, from X Community, yes.
Yeah, also with X Community, and I think it was Main Deck Masters, and it was a bunch of different people, right? I think that was the but it was something that I did because I'm friendly with all of the people from the Nexus. And so I was like, oh, I'll just sign up. But I was super busy with work. And so basically Harry gave me a list that he had been working on. I just played it, never having tested it before, and just happened to win, which is kind of strange, but it could be that it was just such a good deck list. I got really lucky. It could be a lot of factors, but I think half of it was just knowing I could do it made me believe that I could do it. And so I did it. And I kept doing it. It's just a mind over matter, maybe. And then practice.
True. So, okay, so then for you, what do you think is like what is most important to you as like a competitive player? Like, is like deck building important, or is it more like how you pilot the deck is more important, or is it just mindset?
I think it's a combination. I think if you don't have a good deck list, it doesn't matter if you're the best player. If you have a good deck list, but you're not able to pilot it, it's not as effective. And then if you also could be an amazing player and have the best deck list, but not actually believe in yourself, and it won't, like, you have to have a combination of all of them. And I do think a lot of people get in their head, and it genuinely affects their ability to play the game. But then also sometimes it can be, with this game in particular, it seems like you can make one wrong meta call and it can just, you could be really put at a great disadvantage at a competitive event.
Yeah. Yeah, now that you mention it.
I think it's actually pretty alright when you compare to games like Pokemon, or like actually other card games, like Wild Swords and everything like that. I think in general, especially with Saga giving you a side deck as well, like even if you kind of like bring the wrong cards, obviously, like not like so wrong that you didn't expect yourself to like have that kind of deck, that kind of wrong, but but like even you like read the meta wrong, I think like if you have like enough skills, obviously you probably still need a little bit of luck, but like generally if you have enough skills, you can just like kind of get through it. Whereas like if you like, for example, if you're in Pokemon and then you use like what I think like the best example is like literally any decks against what we call the block lax deck, which is basically Snorlax deck, which prevents you from retreating and just like keep you stuck in there until you deck out. And like most of the time, people don't have any outs from that because it's not a common deck that you face, and also because like generally you wouldn't, and so like generally you wouldn't put any kind of like counters against it, especially since like the counters that you use are not exactly the most versatile cards as well. So like in Pokemon, if you face this deck, you just lose. Even though Pokemon is also best of three, but like I think like kind of the power scale is like so different that like sometimes if you see like your worst matchup, you're just not going to win that round. And then like the same can be said with Wise Swords, albeit like Wise Swords kind of it's kind of very luck dependent. Like if you're lucky enough, then like you could still like finish your opponents. But like Wise Swords is another game where like if you face a hard counter, especially since Wise Swords is best of one as well. So like even if you know you have ways to get around it, you'll probably be too late when you realize what they're playing. And then again, you would just lose because you have no ways to get around it. So when we're considering from that point, like Battle Spirit Saga is very relaxed in terms of like what you can use, what you can play in the tournament, because like at the end, if you practice enough, um, like even if you didn't expect like certain matchups, but like um, as long as you kind of like know what they're doing, and then like you can like get around it pretty easily.
Yeah, and I think it's when it is best of three, being able to prepare for kind of the weaker parts. I guess your rock, paper, scissors, having the ability to side out is really critical, and doing it correctly and really anticipating what where your blind spots are is, I think, very important. And I think the absolute hardest is when it's best of one, because you can't always cover every weak point in a deck list with best of one.
True.
Like no matter how well you pilot it, I think there's always going to be, you can pilot it incredibly well, but if you just get paired with someone who has the exact kryptonite for your deck list, then good luck.
Yep.
And sometimes you can get really lucky, but it's, the odds aren't in your favor.
Oh, I just feel so bad because like we literally had to play best of one in our Pokemon locals for our league. I can't remember how they call it, league challenges or like league cups, something like that. Because the shopkeeper doesn't want to open the shops for too long, which is like
Oh,
really dumb.
yep.
Yeah, but like it is what it is. At the very least, Pokemon is a really big game. So if I don't like that shop, I can go to another one. So.
Yeah, I mean, I will say most locals that are left near me, we used to have quite a few, but both are best of one. So it was the best testing environment, but we also have very good players. So we usually, like, regardless of how game one comes out, we have enough time to at least, unofficially do a best of three.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So you basically do a best of three and then you just submit it as a best of one result, or
Yes,
No,
exactly.
I know. I think yeah. I think like people are just like oh, we finished the game already. Let's just play another casual games. That kind of thing.
Exactly. We do.
Yeah.
And it will go to, we play it casually as though we do best of three. It's just because most of the players left, at least at my locals, are fairly competitive. And so they want to, at least for testing reasons, know like, oh, was it that it was unlucky? Does the side really make a difference? And that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what I would do as well. Especially, but to be fair, my mindset is more of I spend my time and pay my travel fee to come to this shop, so I might as well play as much as I can.
True.
That doesn't happen a lot with Saga, or Pokemon, because Pokemon can still play online. Saga, it's non-existent in my area. But like, it happens to me a lot with Wise Swords because like our locals only happens once a month, and actually we got one next week, which I'm gonna miss because I'm gonna be in Utrecht. my life. Yeah, but usually those days, like even after like our local tournaments, I would just keep asking people casual, 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 and then we'll play like until like 7 p.m. or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can understand that. I mean, like the only how to say the reason I didn't do that back then was mostly because we do our locals pretty late. So while once we finish, it will be like 8 p.m. and then like going home at 8 p.m. Where all people are like going back from the mall in Jakarta was not fun. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, definitely have to go home as soon as possible. Yeah.
I have to work. Don't bother
Exactly.
about your COVID. Just go to work.
No. Exactly. Just
Well,
spread.
no, you gotta do some reverse psychology.
Mm-mm.
You go to work
Mm-mm.
while you're having COVID, then the customers get sick and they complain to the restaurant, and now you don't have to work.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's very short sighted. That's a very short sighted thing to do. We have to play the long game.
Yeah. Always play the long game.
Mm-mm. Indeed. Like I think like some of my friends kind of joke that I was like being very pro corporate, but I was like, yeah, but like then if we are being like too antagonistic to our boss, like who will be paying us in the future? Well, yeah, I mean like of course like we have to balance it, but like I mean like there are times where we kind of have to just side with our boss a little bit, don't we? Yeah.
And your boss also seems pretty nice.
Oh,
So
she's a very nice person. I mean, like when she discovered that Julia won, like she was pretty excited as well.
Yeah. I think so. I'm currently the only female winner of a Grand Open for Battle Spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm.
I didn't even think about that.
I think I'm the only player so far to have 3 consecutive top 3
Mm-hmm.
Grand
Mm-hmm.
Open.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's been.
Actually, I actually can't remember the results of Alice Blandon actually, but like you know, like he went around quite a lot, so he might have got that result as well.
To fix that in post, but maybe
Yeah.
that's,
At the very least, you'll be the first in wave 2, in year
yeah,
2.
in year 2.
In year 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, there might have been a couple in year 1 who were, at least somewhere in that range. But granted, those were also, all of them had top cuts, so I will give them that. We only had the top cut in the slightly unusual best of 1 Swiss into top cut in Chile. So
Oh yeah. So how does that work in the end? Because like I remember like the player count was like pretty already, how to say, it's already like basically like twice the top 8, right? Like, so you guys get a top 4 cut or a top 8 cut?
it was a top 4 cut.
Mm-hmm.
So it was 18 players Swiss, and the results after 5 rounds, the top 4 players went to a best of 3.
It's it was a really weird system.
So it was a little harder to sort of anticipate. I knew that we would see a lot of aggro, and playing, I basically altered the list with help, obviously, from my team members, and it played well in best of 1. It didn't function in the way that it should have, I guess, in best of 3. And also I went up against white aggro, which if it high rolls, it high rolls. So it's
also the best white aggro player in Latin America as well. Ooh.
So he is pretty serious, Alessandro. He just knows that deck like the back of his hand. I also played him at Pro Tour 3 in year 1. And he also remembered because it came down to a very similar result. Oh, sorry, there's a siren.
Okay. It's fine.
Welcome to the urban jungle. But
yep.
so I played him at Pro Tour 3 last year, and it was pretty deep. It must have been like round 4, something like that, 4 or 5. And he like edged me out round 1, round 2. I think I played Curse Dragon and it won me the game. And then in round 3, it came down to like a single core difference, which is unfortunately exactly what happened this time around. So he really knows how to leverage exactly what he has and does a great job of it. So, and he won the whole event. So technically, I only lost to the winner. So I guess that's a consolation prize. So.
Yeah, but you lost to the winner twice.
Well, he didn't have salt in the wound, you know.
It's okay.
That's okay. I explained to him too. It's all about anime storyline because even like I was like, I will see you at the next event and we will play. That's when it's really gonna matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. And talking about Alejandro, I think his list is actually really interesting.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like it's like one of those things. It's like one of those lists where like you just normally wouldn't think about it, but like it's like exactly because it's been playing the same deck for so long, he just kind of knows what to add in there. So
sure.
like, yeah, so like I really like well, I mean Theo probably gonna put the image on the video anyway.
Okay.
I'm just
I
putting up.
really like his addition of Hakala, the numbers blocking the name, Hakala and then like double heart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was asking him what's Hakala for, and then he said it's well obviously for the Astro, and then he added in the double heart just for like a 2 symbols unblockable. And then funny enough, I asked him, hey, why aren't you playing Mason then? And then he said, oh, because I couldn't get her.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
Fetch.
Yeah. I know they said it was a lot harder for them to get access to some of the cards in South America, but obviously they do really well with everything they are able to get. So
Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of them, like it's like truly like close games. Like you kind of you know that they know what they're doing. It's not
absolutely.
yeah, it's not just like because I suppose I feel like there is like a common misconception from like the community that like Latin American players are just like generally weaker because like there aren't a lot of players and also as you said they don't really have access to like a lot of cards, but obviously not. We experienced it firsthand. They're still really good at the games.
Yeah, I think that is 1000% a misconception because I mean, the fact that they're able to do what they do and not have access to a full card pool is incredible. So I would argue maybe they actually are potentially more resourceful than some other players. So,
Yeah, for sure. For
and
sure.
clearly the proof is in the pudding. I mean, the top 2 were both from Chile and are both lovely and amazing players. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. They are really lovely. Like they are really welcoming as well.
yeah,
And like
yeah.
just like they really try their best to like try to include me and you. Actually, yeah, especially while you're still playing, they were already like asking me, "Oh, do you want to do the side event? Oh, don't worry, I'll translate it for you," and stuff like that. It's like they're really nice.
Yeah, I mean, they made us feel like we were, all part of the same thing. So I really appreciated them, and they were so, I mean, instantly because I was like, "Oh, would you be willing to send the deck lists? We wanted to chat about them. I can send them to, the various places they get posted online because like you deserve recognition that you won these and you know, if you're willing to share your deck list." And they were so like instantly they're like, of course, we would love to, they were just very open, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I would like to meet them again.
yeah, I know. I did get a lot of their info. I've chatted with a few of them. because they also were like, oh, just to keep in touch to see, you know, when vouchers come through and that sort of thing. And then also, you know, they're willing to do like trades and all that kind of stuff, especially for ProFest. So I might take them up on some of those trades, which will be great. And it's good to have like, you know, open lines of communication across, you know, all different countries. I think it's one of the things I like the most about this game is that there are people playing all over the world, and it brings people together who would probably never interact in any other way.
Yeah, and I think like ironically, like Battlespirit Saga being like a smaller game actually kind of helps with this a lot as well because like you can imagine like if you go to like a Pokemon event, say for example, I mean probably except for the top few players who you only recognize and probably they wouldn't know you, uh, like you just don't know anyone there because there are just like too many people. But like, it's exactly because Battlespirit Saga is like just like a more like a niche game. And so like you go to an event and then like you will just always see like kind of the same group of people. And that actually helps you to like, you know, kind of remember them, you know, interact more with them, etc. And I think that's actually really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
True. Yeah, I can kind of feel that as well because like in Battle Spirits in Southeast Asia, I guess the size of the player base between countries in Southeast Asia it's pretty much not that different from what we have in Saga currently. We do kind of like be able to interact better with like our friends in Singapore and in Malaysia, not as much as with Hong Kong because like Hong Kong is gigantic.
Oh yeah,
There.
like for Japanese battle spirits, Hong Kong is like the second biggest market after Japan. So
Yeah. And speaking of about the Japanese battle spirits, we do have to talk a little bit about Pentan. Like, so you pick the Pentan check as your nickname, right? Based on this very particular version of Pentan, which is literally the Pentan check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was just I thought it was a really cute card. At the beginning, I started playing white, but I also loved yellow. It was adorable. And I really got into Lester. So like one of the first like series that I made was like Lester list that ran on Pentans, basically like a this fall production. Michaela and the Angels, and that was kind of my signature. I tried to work, but it just didn't quite make sense in that one. Doesn't quite make sense for that. But I thought it was really hard, and then it sort of play on words, like basically. Usually, I was the only like female player at a lot of these events, so it just became like what I named myself. Through the app, and I guess it's how I'm known now as a random.
oh my god, I didn't even think of it that way. Pentan chick. Oh
Yeah, it's meant to have like that double meaning.
True. But now I guess now that you are picking up the Japanese game as well, I think you can start picking up a new name now, the Panpress.
Oh, the Pempress. Yes, I saw. You sent me a photo of it. It's very cute. And I think it's supposed to be quite good, right?
yeah, because it permanently treats all the Pentans in your hand and trash as cost free with the reduction as well. So
yeah.
Ooh, okay.
yeah, it's actually really good. And well, I'm glad my friend got us ordered the boxes because it's the deadline is actually tomorrow.
Right. So we are officially locked in.
We should be locked in. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. I'm so excited to make 100% Penton deck, who is, you know, a dream that isn't quite possible, I think, yet in Saga, but it's possible, but is it good is the question. But
I mean, it's playable.
it is a legal deck of cards. I think it's a very cute legal deck of cards.
I mean, you can use it as like a kind of like yellow cost to rush kind of thing.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Macaroni Pentan is no joke, especially in the purple and yellow list. One of the players I played, I think it was might have been round 4 or 5, in South America, was playing the basically the purple yellow list with a glut vault top end, and was running the macaroni Pentan, and it really was actually a problem because you really can keep getting it back, and it keeps causing mayhem with casino, and it can actually be a house if you play it right.
Yeah, and the new Poet Pentan is also proving to be way more of a powerhouse than it actually offers. Like, it's basically just another hippocampo, but also like a hippocampo that is really light, and it's actually really nice.
Yeah, and with the additional reduction, it's also super cute.
Yeah.
And then now that I'm looking at the image of Poet Pentan, I only realized that like you can see a faint image of the Emperor at the back. So he's literally singing about the Emperor.
Yeah, it's hard. Like who knows the poem he's singing in honor of the Emperor. But speaking of set 6, have either of you been able to play any set 6 online or in person?
Yeah, we did when we were still chilling in Mülheim. We were actually going to make videos, but obviously Theo's being really busy with it. And then later I also realized those decks are just not capable. So let's just drop the idea. But we did test 4 decks specifically, actually. Being the purple player, obviously I tried to test the purple white one at Aben of Covenant. And then obviously the sushi deck, the agile deck, and then what I would call the cost 3 and 5 blessed deck. Yeah. I think we talked about the blessed deck first, actually. But like the whole idea around it is basically to make use of the inverted world, which is like a 3-2 Nessus. With the level 2 effect, when your spirit that costs 3 or 5 attacks, you can gain a call, basically. And I was like thinking that like it's just like a really good combo with the Fable Beast deck in general, because like now you're guaranteed draws and also calls, and it's obviously also cheaper than Blessed Cathedral to set up. So I just thought like it's a really good card to add to the deck. And then so I basically like just make a list around the cost 3 and 5, and then I think the only cost for in the deck, well, cost for spirits in the deck is the new Fable Beast called Kusif. Which level 2 all your spirits with blessed can be blocked by level 2 or 3 spirits. So if you combine with Jewel Ego, which cannot be blocked by level 1 spirits, then it just means all your spirits with blessed are unblockable. And you don't even need Genbu at that point.
Yeah. The cheaper, faster Genbu.
Yeah. Yeah, like especially since you're gonna be playing Jewel Ego anyway. So like if you just replace Genbu with Kusif, then I think like a lot of things will be a lot smoother. Um, just but like obviously when it comes to testing, your first draft isn't going to be like the best one. So it's like I think the deck will work, but like just have to figure out in terms of like the magic ratio, like what kind of defensive magic you want to put in there, etc. Things like that. Yeah. And obviously you just kind of have to like see like what kind of counters there are. But like I mean, Fable Beast has been working well so far. Like in general, like I think like the counter is still like red Nessus destruction, which is kind of like inevitable. So it's like maybe that is about like changing strategies rather than uh like just changing the cards in the deck. Like I don't know. Like we basically only had like 2 to 3 days to play, and then like after that Theo got a lot of stuff to do. I got a lot of stuff to do. So we didn't really bother with any more set 6 cards. Yeah. And then the Abe no Covenant deck is I think it's also an interesting one. Obviously, like a lot of people are saying that like the purple cards in this set are really bad. But like I don't know. I refuse to believe that. So, I just I yeah, go
Not to
on.
give anything away, but there's a purple spell that I think is kind of out of control. And I mean it's a purple and white spell, but I think Scroll of Binding is it's even better
Yeah.
than it reads in practice. And yeah, I guess that's all I'll say for now. But it's something to definitely look out for.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I loved that magic when I was like playing with Theo, and Theo was screaming in the agony, especially when you're facing sushi. It doesn't matter which kind of removal you're using, the sushi just gonna get removed out of the game. So just pay 1 cost, scroll binding, bounce the sushi. Oh, oops! Actually, no, it's removed from game now. And now you and now they have to generate the sushi all over again. So like yeah, I love this card. I think with purple white, I think it has like a solid backbone basically. Like if you want the draws, it has the draws. It has like enough necessits to support you as well. I mean in terms of like if we was talking strictly about like the purple white dual color spirits, most of them are pretty good. Like just in terms of necessits, Thousand Spears Battlefield and Mercury Sea Factory Isle, that are both just really good necessits. And then in terms of spirit, you got the weirdly technician who's wearing sunglasses, Maitreya, and then which is a cost 4 that draws you 1 and also bounces spirit. And obviously being cost 4 means ooh better go. And then you got a cost 5 Hanya, which is like again just like discarding a spirit card with a link to draw 2 cards. And then like to be fair, even Bono Dial, like the cost 2 vanilla spirit, I think it's just like pretty decent. Because at least from my deck concept, which like I adopted the Abe turbo, because I basically maxed out 4 copies of Abe, and then just try to like set up as quickly as possible, and just summon Abe to like summon whatever link spirit you need out from the trash. And my original concept was using Razor Pentan with Doubly Deadly, and that is when Bono Die will come in handy. Because like obviously Pentan on summon can summon 2 cost 2 spirits from your trash without paying the cost. So you just summon 2, so you summon Abe no Covenant, and then you casually just summon 3 more spirits. And your Bono Die can also be your filter for no not filter, the fodder for Doubly Deadly and anything like that. So like I was just trying to go with that combo. Uh but I think the problem was like Abe is obviously not a finisher by himself. It's just like the typical purple control deck where you just kind of attack to like do some control, disrupt their field a little bit like that. But it like by itself and even like with like another link spirit, it's not. I would say it's not threatening enough to the opponent, especially when it comes to link the link spirits that we have. Um, let's be honest, a lot like most of them are just like pretty lackluster. Uh, so um, so like I think the problem is just like the power level for the top end for this deck is just like not good enough. And you probably need some replacement in terms of like what you want to do to try to end the game. But I think so far the concept of Purple White is doing pretty well. Um, just have to figure out like the ratios and anything like that. Uh, and then yeah, I suppose for you, Julia, you've been testing Sushi and Agile. I mean, those two decks are like what people test the most. So I assume you've done a bit of like games on those 2 decks as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been testing a number of things. Harry and I have been testing a lot of different different combos, just trying to see how to, use the cards that I think really in the new set that provide kind of upgrades over old things or new combos. And I think there's a lot of there's so many new areas to explore. And a lot of the Link spirits, I think some of them seem kind of underwhelming on the surface, but in practice are like incredible. I haven't fully tested with every last one, but most of them I've been really impressed with how they work. There are only so many answers that, some of them provide effectively like multiple the advantage of multiple cards. So I think there's a lot of room to explore in those.
Yeah, well, I was just saying lackluster because like the purple white deck just like depends on using link spirits as the finisher, but like the link cards, they're good, but not to the level of being finishers, which is why like the purple white feels like a bit weak when you compare like to the other decks. But like if we talk about the link spirits themselves, like a lot are just like really decent, like especially the two red ones, like bruh.
The red ones are insane. Yeah.
Yeah, the red ones are so good. Especially the one. Like Ballista might not even be the best one just because of how expensive he is. But like Liu one is just like insane, just like the value you can get from it. Especially if like in an agile deck, if you manage to pair it up with Owari, it's just like really disruptive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go on.
The both red ones are great. The Yak Mobile is also pretty serious. Because it bounces a 5,000 or fewer to hand, and then also provides the spirit it links with white armor, which if that's properly timed can cause, it narrows your opponent's options, I guess.
Yeah,
Especially,
it just forces your opponent to have two answers at least. Like obviously because it means they have to uh deal with the Yak mobile first before dealing with the Link spirits. I mean, if their defense is white, that's what I mean. But like, obviously, if they're not using white, then it's like completely useless. But
I mean, it does die to a timed flood stream kind of thing, especially because like if you're using the Mercury Sea factory isle, you can give it white and purple armor,
oh
but
yeah,
if they,
true, yeah,
it's like, oh well, all that set up and the blue will take care of it. So
yeah. And I think like one interesting thing to point out. I mean, this is not even like. I mean, technically, you can like try to hide it as like a secret tag, but like I think eventually someone's gonna ask it anyway, so might as well say it here. But obviously one thing to remember is like spiritual links, they're spirits. Because like some people like have the misconception, especially when they were looking into the Japanese game and when like we had this thing called Brave, which like Brave cannot, well, quote unquote, link with each other because they're like a different card type. But obviously it's different in Saga. So technically you can use two link spirits and just link with each other. And probably the best option you can get here is with two copies of Stickbot Shooter. Was yes. Especially since like the link effect doesn't specify um which spirit has to be attacking. You know, it just means it's just saying when the open spirit destroyed by campaign BP, send a life to trash. So you can literally attack with your first shooter, link it with a second shooter, and now you're swinging at 10k, two symbols. If they block, they shoot two lives to trash. If they don't block, that's two symbols.
yeah, that's pretty wild.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Why did you even think about that? That's bad Ayumu, bad.
I mean, we are judges. We have to think of problems.
Yes. I mean, there was also, I mean, some of these interactions, it's good to like know exactly how they work with other cards and what's real, what's not, especially before going into these. So I think as a judge, it's your responsibility.
Yeah, I think like the best way to for us judge to operate is like we literally look into the problems ourselves before like the players realize it themselves. Because like, then like the response will be too slow. Especially with how I mean, I'm not going to say much, but the higher ups are working really slowly. Let's say it this way. Yes. So like, especially right now, we know that in Utrecht, Parkfest, we'll probably see some officials there as well. So like right now, we're actually preparing like a list of questions just so if we see them, we just like kind of bombard them with everything and make them answer on the spot.
I mean, gotta take it when you can.
Exactly. If you don't answer us online, we're just gonna look for you in person.
Exactly.
Yeah. See if you can get any hints on set 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll try to do that as well.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, but like going back to the link spirits, another combo which I find really interesting, which like it doesn't sound too useful when it compares to shooter, but like it's still something you can consider, which is like the Mecha Warlord Jotun. Because like very interestingly, it says the effect is while this spirit is linked when you open the blocks, refresh this spirit. So like I think like a lot of people when they first read this card, because like they just breeze through the effects and they say, oh, refresh the link spirit. No, it refresh Jotun himself.
Yes.
But the interesting part is again, it doesn't specify who's attacking. So basically you can link two Jotun together, and if they block, you refresh both of them. So now basically you're swinging with two symbols and you're forcing them to just take 2 lives.
Yeah.
That's good. That was the second one I was going to follow up with after Stickbug, is that that interaction is pretty wild.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's like one question we're going to confirm to death. It was actually doable, but like, looking at the wordings, it seems pretty doable. So yeah, we definitely got a lot of interesting interactions here. I think like just like a little bit of shame is the 2 purple link cards, because like Violet Haze Spore is like actually pretty goddamn good. But I suppose that's why the link condition is so harsh. So it's like it's just kind of like a weird one, because like obviously like in this day and age, you wouldn't just like deliberately be playing vanilla spirits unless Gambu comes back up, but like nobody's gonna expect Gambu at this moment.
Well, there was a very highly played spirit that has no abilities.
Yeah, well, I can see with Sussex, but like because and I suppose like there are also some spirits that can ignore the link condition. So it's like, yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Where
especially the Ant-Man, yeah.
Where I was going is so basically Harry and I, as like a testing exercise, used a box that we played our own sealed with, where we started with a sealed deck of just 4 cards, and then just after we made a deck and played some games with it, we added cards or added packs to essentially try to like beef it out and practice other cards. And the best card I found with the boar was actually any small sushi, because the small sushi has no abilities, so you can just link it to that and it will destroy an exhausted spirit.
Yeah,
And
I just didn't think of it that way, because well, the different colors, but actually then that means it'll be a really good card in green white tokens.
Yeah, because it also has green reduction.
Yeah. Just waiting for the day when purple tokens come out.
What?
Sorry. Yeah, like Boar, I can definitely see some potentials. Like I actually really like it when we first saw it, just like trying to think of ways to play with it. But like Galan is like it's the weird one out there, I think. Um but I suppose like giving curse can be really good in some situations, so I'm not gonna complain too much about it. It's again just more like finding the right deck to use it. Especially since like Garan is like pretty high cost if you're not playing dual colors. And like it feels like the purple yellow deck doesn't really have any space for him. So like the only other option is purple white, but then it still depends on like kind of what direction you're going for. Because like if you're gonna be playing the Arbin of Covenant direction, then it's not exactly a good card to use. Because like most of the time you're gonna attack with Arbin of Covenant and you don't want him to get destroyed. So like it's probably more for like like suppose like the temple version or like the purple white deck. Might try to build a deck towards that direction actually. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, when I read it, I guess my initial reaction is like the threshold is Glut Vault for me, where Glut Vault gives all of your yellow spirits curse, and then on its level 2, when it attacks, you strip cores equal to the number of creatures you have and subtract BP. So it does so much more for one additional core more, and also isn't limited to a single level, which the 4,000 threshold is really important in this set. So
True. Yeah. Oh, actually, I actually don't know we have any self-destruction effects in purple yellow. Because like if we do, then like obviously you can like kind of make like really like a really big combo of like you summon a Garen, strip them down to one core, and then you can do some like you can like destroy some of your own spirits and then just like activate Casino level 2 and like strip that out of the core. Because obviously Glove Folds only works for core 7 or less. But then again, I suppose you can just pair it up with the Yellow Smoke Tiger, which actually removes cost 5 or more. So yeah, that works. Yeah, that works.
Gotta cover both sides, I guess.
Yeah. I mean literally like the weakness of like well, I think it's so far the biggest weakness anyway for purple yellow is that like it cannot deal with the bigger spirits. So which is like, the designed weakness for the deck. And then like, Bandai just decided like, hey, here's an answer from the promo cards, and here's an answer in set 6 as well, because why the heck not?
In the very deep. But yeah. Speaking now that we have talked extensively about Saga, we need to talk about the real face of this podcast. Is that because last time we did have like the Indonesian buffet, and I think you really enjoyed it. But like if we just take it out of the small picture and into the bigger picture, like what would you say will be your favorite cuisine, like in general? You think?
Okay, of course. You always have to talk about food in every episode. Okay,
exactly.
Oh, you do? Okay. I was like, I was waiting. That was a build up, and I didn't know where we were going. I was like,
yeah.
Yeah. I was really confused at first, but like, I suppose he just really wants to talk about food.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's honestly, it's universal. It's amazing. You're right. The Indonesian at the restaurant was amazing. Like really some of the best food I've had in a long time. Typically love pretty much all sorts of Asian cuisines. I love Thai food. I love Japanese. I have had a lot of Indian food lately that's been divine, even when I was in Seattle. Amazing. Korean, I mean, like anything Asian. I do also like Italian if it's done right. Yeah, and really honestly, like I love one of the other things I love about not just traveling and meeting new people, it's also like experiencing the cultures of the places we've been to and trying out the new food. And it's it's always fun to expand like your palate new. And
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think getting to go to Germany but also try Indonesian cuisine was so fun.
Exactly. Next time we'll have to have like a bread buffet. Because that's
what?
A bread buffet. So just buffet of bread. Because that's
I don't think you can eat too much with that. So.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
it's all carbohydrates, and And this sounds very ironic, but I do think I'm getting at the age where I should start eating less carbohydrates. Not gonna lie.
True. I mean, like that's also why I was feeling a little bit peckish after I ordered like a burrito supposedly, but I don't know what the restaurant is. The restaurant sounds Middle Eastern, but they randomly have a burrito, and it kind of looks like French taco, and it's like has French fries in it. But I guess like my Mexican friends say that's kind of normal. But yeah,
French fries and burrito.
yeah. French has so France has this thing called they call the French taco, which is basically just a pretty flat burrito that has basically some kind of protein, French fries, and then some cheese on it. So yeah.
Wow, that sounds some really very cheap food that I didn't expect from French.
Yeah, it's a street food.
Okay.
Okay, let's load up the what is this AVIF? What is this new? Oh my goodness! Can I even load this? Yeah, I've brought it up on my screen and
Okay.
wow.
Okay. It does look pretty appetizing, not gonna lie.
yeah. I have like one French taco place near the main station. Maybe I have to try it one day, just to see if it's any different from the one that I just ate. That's like the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I never heard of them before, yeah.
Mm-mm.
A few years ago, there was a chain in the US called Sushi Rito.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically like a burrito that was sushi.
Damn.
I don't know.
Wait, isn't that just like a giant sushi roll?
It's basically a giant sushi roll, but they marketed it as burrito, like a, sort of a fusion. And I think that some of them were like mildly, or Tex-Mex sort of flavor, but most of them were Japanese inspired and just very large sushi rolls.
Well, actually, here's the thing. I think actually, oh well, I mean, it depends on how you see it because like that actually reminds me of like a really interesting fact is that like California roll is called California roll because it actually came from California. So if you see any sushi that's like is where the rice is wrapping around, it's like being the rice on the most outer surface wrapping around all the other ingredients, that actually came from America. Like I like the Japanese actually didn't have that until they experienced like the American culture of sushi. Let's say it that way. and then now they call it the ulamaki, which literally means the reverse roll. Yeah, that's one thing I learned. I mean, like I kind of expected it when like people call it the California roll, but I didn't know like how it came to. But like yeah, it's basically just like people want to try new ideas, and so like they kind of made it, and stuff like that. Which is interesting. But like talking about food, I think it was quite like the shame that like we went to Chile and then like we didn't really have like any chance to like eat any quote unquote authentic Chilean food over there.
I know it was such a short time, and I don't know if you told Theo, but I was delayed because one of my flights was delayed so long that I wasn't able to make my initial connecting flight. I'm still actually working with the airline because I had to cancel and rebook, but stay overnight in Miami. It was just this whole thing. So I even had one fewer day and arrived. Basically, I was supposed to arrive about half an hour before the event based on the new flight. I had to. So I had a lot less time than I thought I would just to be able to explore. But we did get to go to that really whimsical cafe, the Alice, the Wonderland
Oh
Cafe.
yeah, like it's like a cafe theme around Alice in Wonderland. yeah, that was really nice. I really like the bagels. Yes, we have bagels. Yes, I try to remember what we did.
Bagels and tea, and it was really. I mean, it was lovely, honestly.
Yeah, just gonna love myself with some avocado. Like I actually didn't remember the avocado came from South America. I think like that's why they have a lot of them around it. And so like and so I came over here, it's like, oh my god, a lot of avocado, yay!
Nice.
So you had like a local specialty avocado hot dog thing.
Yes, yes. I can't remember what it's called. I mean, to be fair, they have a lot of names. But like yeah, basically, it's called com completo, which is well Spanish for complete or total. Um, it's and it's really simple. It's just like a hot dog with chopped tomatoes, avocados, and mayonnaise. And then like it just tastes so good. Like you just like got all these flavors on one hot dog. And like obviously it doesn't sound anything amazing because like it's technically something that you can make at home as well. But like it's more of the fact that like I didn't think of this combination until I went to Chile. And it was good.
But yes, it was such a short trip. It was hard to,
Yeah, to try to like pin down that kind of
yeah.
what we can actually try. Yeah,
Those
because
ones,
like I know that like near our venue there was like a fish market as well. Like
Oh.
so like I had wished to go there because like they had like I mean obviously I know like Julia you're vegan, but then like they probably have some other options there anyway. But like yeah, they basically have like a fish market and then like within it obviously they have like one or two like restaurants which I saw from like a documentary on like the airplane. Um so yeah, wish we could have gone there. I would have loved to see what options they have over there in terms of like seafood.
Yeah. Now that we went all around the world, like, cause like last time, Ayumu did partake in some American food. I think although I was there in LA for like 1 week, I think I ate nothing but burrito. But like, if you were to, if next time we had like slightly more time, like what would you sell as like something that you have must try that is well typical to be eaten in the US?
oh no. Selling something from the like that is traditionally like American cuisine.
Kind of.
I would
Like
say
no offense, is there even any?
Kind of.
there can be some. I think I mean unfortunately it's pretty widely known like a lot of US stuff is highly processed and like deeply fried, but then there's like a few things that especially if they're like local or sometimes like regional sorts of things, they can be pretty good. I mean, like people say like New York's pizza is really good. I think Chicago's and Detroit's are also really good. Like there's like certain types of pizza that would be, I think, a really good sell, or things like especially in like the fall into winter, a lot of smaller places will do like really nice like jams and preserves. I know that sounds silly, but like my friends also make some, and Terry and I opened one of them. It was quince preserves. I don't know if you've ever had that.
No, I don't think I ever did. No.
It's like kind of tart in a really nice way, but like that was a like local to like the Northeast. I guess it's all over the world too in certain places, but that is really delicious. So little things. It's little things. But I think
Yeah, it's like, and I think it's also because like at this point, even if it's something that's like truly classified as like American cuisines, it just like being spread around the world so much that it's just like really hard to differentiate whether it actually came from the US or like it came from somewhere else. I mean, like now since Theo asked the question, actually, like the first thing that I thought of is buffalo wings, and I really love that.
Oh yeah, I really wish they will do another ProFest or like a next level event like in Texas, just because. Yeah, I don't know if I told you this, but like when I went back from LA, I got the transit in Dallas, and then from Dallas I flew back to Spain, and then like the couple that sat next to me, they kind of like panic bought like 5 boxes of chicken wings, and then because of that they just like asked me like, hey brother, do you want some chicken wings? I was like, yeah, sure. The smell is like the smell is like filling the whole airplane. Like, how can I say no? And it's really good.
Oh my god!
Kind of wanted to go. Yeah, I wanted to go to Texas, low key, just to eat the chicken wings.
Oh man, it's funny because I'm like looking at the Pentan chick photo, and I think Ayumu, I think it was Pro Tour 3 that the hotel venue had like the themed dishes, and one of them was Pentan chick wings, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
You're eating the Pentan chicks. How could you do that? Like,
yeah, and the other one was like the blazing ball thing, which is like I think it was simply just a hot dog, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, like that. And then there was like a noodle dish or something, and I don't even remember what I took a photo.
Yeah, I ate the noodle dish. Yeah.
Ah.
I thought it was really funny. I was like, oh no, Pentan chick wings. You could open your own franchise.
Yeah.
That sounds so wrong for some reason.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, I love a good themed restaurant, right? But I think in the US too, I mean, there are certain things like that, but a lot of the best cuisine, I think, are cuisines that people brought here from other places. And like you said, like with the sushi, like they did what they could with what they had, or they made a Philadelphia roll and put like cream cheese in it. And like people really like that. But it's because
it's really funny. Like a lot of Japanese also brought back like kind of the cream cheese variant, and then like and then they presented it to like kind of like the authentic sushi chefs, and then they ate it just like, I really don't like the cream cheese in there. It's like,
why are you putting dairy in it? Ugh. But I guess people love it, so
it works.
Yeah. Like I mean, now that I'm scrolling through Wikipedia, it's like, wow, actually there are a lot of things that like actually never heard of. And like if I come to US again, I actually would want to try them out. Um, yeah, it's interesting. I never really looked into American cuisine. Um, to be fair though, like as you said, like the British cuisine is also like very similar. So like I just assume they're like roughly the same. I mean, similar as in like most of the time they like kind of brought in food from like other countries, and well, it's actually even worse in Britain because like I mean, depends on how you see it, but like basically, I think for British cuisine, they just like never develop their food, and instead they just move on to eating other food. Like we had like statistics in like done before, and like they say like the most favorite cuisine in Britain is Indian, followed by Italian. and, and then the British cuisine itself, like people describe it as like the British still living in World War II.
actually some of the best Indian I've had is in the UK.
Oh.
I remember that more than I remember anything I've eaten that was like strictly considered British. Maybe the tea is really good, I guess. I like British tea.
Yeah. I think. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's like I think it's like mostly like a joke. I mean, again, similar to how I just like didn't bother looking into American cuisine. Like a lot of people obviously like didn't bother looking into British cuisine, and they just like look at photos online and just like, oh yeah, the foods are really bad. And like to be fair, if they're not done right, it's actually really bad. But like but I also like at the same time you find the right restaurant, which like usually um I would say is usually finding a local pub. Uh and when I mean local pub, I mean something that's not operated under a large brand called Weatherspoon, which is like the like Harry would know, yeah, like Weatherspoon, which is like the big branch that supposedly operates like a lot of the pubs in the UK. And because like it's like a brand, so like all the menus are the same and like there's just like really um low I wouldn't say low quality, but like basically, it's like basically they make things like fast food. Like the quality is like fast food. Like so that it's not exactly the best thing. So like if you want actual British cuisine, I would say like go to a local pub, and then like they will have options like cottage pie, and then actually actually yeah, and then like they have like usually like something like, I mean it sounds really simple, but it's like mashed potato with sausages
Oh,
and
banger
Yorkshire
sandwich.
pudding like under gravy, like things like that. I certainly can't remember on top of my head what they have. I mean, obviously that's the obvious like fish and chips and everything like that. But I think like what you have to find in British cuisine is not the complexity of the dishes. It's not like you should expect any kind of like a lot of flavors from them because like they're not. They're like very simple food, like which you can make at home and everything like that. But I think what you want to find is like uh good cooking, like a good chef making the food. Um, and like that's what I would say is like kind of like the peak of British cuisine is that they make the food actually good. Like you would eat fish and chips, but then you will still feel like it's high quality kind of things.
True.
Yeah, I think sometimes the best foods are the most simple ones, but it's the quality and then like how it's prepared is really, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Mm.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, next time probably I should have prepared the German brunch for you guys.
I mean, to be fair, now that I think about it, I visited you in Germany for quite a few times already, but honestly, I don't think I've had too much of German cuisine except for like the donor, which you're still arguing with Turkey, which one is,
Yeah,
oh, was it Turkey or Austria? Like which
it's
like who's like,
Turkey. Yeah.
yeah, like I feel that apparently Germany and Turkey would argue with each other, like where the donor came from, like the donor meats.
Yeah.
Um, but like besides that, what else have I tried? I actually can't remember already.
Yeah, you had the pork knuckle.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, the pork knuckle. Yes, of course. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that one is really good. I love it.
Yeah. And then naturally the sausages, of course.
Ah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I still remember that really long hot
Oh,
dog
yeah.
that who was it? I think it was Enoch who
Yeah.
ordered it.
Yeah, you know, was the one who bought it. Like he saw like all the sizes of the hot dog, and then there's like the XL or the double XL, and he was just like double XL.
Yeah, so like when it says sizes, it's not even like kind of the thickness of the sausage. Like you would expect when it's like when you say bigger sausages, you mean like bigger circumference, let's say it that way. But no, from that counter, that market, when they said XL sizes, it just means the sausage is getting longer and longer. And I think Inga ordered something like like a sausage that's like 30 centimeters long or something like that, which was insane.
Yeah, it was wild. Then what
I
else?
should I should have tried that, but I was full. So
Yeah. And then other than that, it's just the bread. The bread is a
oh
meal on
yeah,
its own, yeah.
oh yeah, the bread, yeah.
Yeah, German bread.
You can see my memories are not the best.
Yeah, because I also don't remember like which bread that I introduced to you. But yeah, I think like since you like the jams as well, Julia, maybe next time I can bring you some German jams as well.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah,
What would you classify German jams to?
as in jam that is in Germany. So when you guys visit, then I'll just like get one of those Wednesday pack where they basically just give you like one of the big bread and then like several of the smaller breads, and then I'll just buy some jam from the supermarket and then we can enjoy them together.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like jams. I like myself some jams.
exactly.
We talked someone that inspired Harry to have some jam right now, I think.
Yeah.
Did you have the thing to go get the quince? It's so good.
Exactly.
You can quince, Quince. It's like it's just the right amount of tart. It's like just a little sweet. It's so good. So good.
Damn. Queen's Preserve.
Whoa, I've never heard of that fruit before.
Oh.
Palm fruit. Oh, it's basically like the apple family.
Damn.
Interesting. Actually, no, I think I might have had it before, but like I don't know. It does look like a pear, so I might have had it and thought it's like a pear or something. But yeah, talking about jam, I should probably buy some jam instead of just like keep eating butter. But like I'm technically living by myself. I mean, I always been saying I'm in a house share, but obviously we don't really share food or anything like that. I still have like a tub of butter I haven't finished yet, so I need to finish that first.
True. Because like the other thing on why I don't really eat jam is like, yep, I kinda in a mood for jam right now, and then I'll just eat it once, and then like, oh, I'm not in a mood for jam anymore, and then now it's all moldy, so it's like, oh, this is no longer safe to eat, but it's like 80% left. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be waiting for you guys. When you guys come, then we can have a jam party.
So we can clear the fridge for you.
Yeah. No, it's just that I do need to keep like 3 jars of jam inside my fridge.
And have them all go bad before you have them all. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the thing is though, can we even? I mean, unless we do check-in baggage, I don't think you can bring jam over the custom.
Yeah.
Because I suppose, because I think it might be classified as liquid. I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of in between, isn't it? Like it might be liquid, it might be not.
The Schrodinger liquid.
The Schrodinger liquid.
Indeed. So yeah. Now that we have interrogated you about what is American cuisine really, what is next for you, Julia? What is your next goal for like the rest of the year? Because like the Worlds will be like in the next year.
Yeah, so I mean it's right at the beginning of next year, but I'll probably play the Summoner Duel, which will be the first set 6 event. It's going to be a lot of testing this month and in preparation for what's to come, and getting ready for Worlds, and hopefully year 3. I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. We'll get the set 7 eventually.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It could be a situation where total speculation. Maybe there's another collaboration set coming and they're waiting to get clearance on license. You never know. It could be a million reasons. So,
True, yeah.
Or maybe if they were smart, they're doing some sort of collaboration with the new Gundam game, and there are cards you could play in both games, and they just need to coordinate that. Who knows? That would be really smart. I don't know if Bandai's listening, but
hopefully.
I mean, they are doing that with Japanese game already, actually, because right now, because you heard like how I mean you definitely did, like, because like you got someone beside you who's probably gonna be talking about it a lot, but like there is the Ultraman card game coming out. and Japanese Battle Spirits is actually collaborating with it. So like if we buy basically at the same time when the Ultraman card game released their set 2, I believe, Battle Spirits also released their newest set of the Ultraman series. And then basically they say that like in the Ultraman, when you buy the booster set from the Battle Spirits game, they will give me a promo card of the Ultraman card game and then vice versa. Which is actually really interesting. And they're sharing the artworks and everything like that as well. So I don't know, maybe Saga would do something like that.
I mean, there's so many ways, I think, from a marketing perspective. I mean, even like I like, even off the top of my head, what if they even did like a set of rares that are available in both games, but they're dual-sided, and one side is the Battle Spirits version and one side is the Gundam version. I mean, you'd have to split them, but like cards that could literally be played in both games. So it incentivizes people to have like to actually go into either.
Oh, true. Yeah, they can definitely do that. Yeah.
I don't know. Bandai needs to hire me because I feel like
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Bandai should have hired me a long time ago to do translation for them anyway. So
yeah, there's a lot of eager people who would love to help. So.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, we already did try to help like during year 1 because I remember Cubia literally like wrote that was like way before the FAQ was even a thing. But like I think like Cubia, one of the judges, basically wrote like a whole PDF document on like some of the rulings they have to clarify, and then like where they can what's the word, improve the wordings and everything like that. And then Bandai basically never gave a response, I think. Which is honestly very heartbreaking because I think right now QB is just like not active as well, isn't he?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, on the other hand, he is also really passionate about the other games that he plays. So it's.
I mean, fair enough. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's the same. It's the same for me right now. Like I'm just I'm just like unconsciously, no, subconsciously, focusing on Saga and Pokemon a lot. That I just like I actually just start neglecting the Japanese game.
Which is
like
fair.
like literally in terms of like the Japanese game, the only thing that I've been focused on recently is the Pentan box.
Yes.
Because I just had to make sure when it's the deadline, and like that's it. Because I already missed the deadline for the other premium boxes. No!
No, did you miss the one for the Faunina as well?
Yeah, I missed the Faunina box. Yeah.
Oh well.
So I had to ask my friend to keep an eye on anyone not wanting their box after they order it.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, so I can just like snatch it.
True. Yeah, because like
it's so weird as well. Because like the Japanese game right now, they're just pumping out premium boxes like this month. Because like we got the phone in a box, we got the Pentan box. Just to explain to Julia and Harry, I mean you would understand anyway, but like basically limited items from premium Bandai, like similar to like the car collection we have in Saga. But like basically in the Japanese game, they would like regularly kind of release what we call the premium box, which right now the usual pattern is that they give you like a full deck, some full deck with cards that are unique to that box as well, and then some like reprinted cards with new artworks, like just like the Pentan cards that you will get. Usually like a playmat, 1 or 2 set of sleeves, and then it's like a card box and then blah blah blah, all those things. Usually they only release like one every like half a year or so back in the days, but like they're getting more frequently recently. And then literally this month they announced, I'm gonna have to count as well. They got like they got what we call the phone in a box. Yeah, they got the Pentan box. They got the Nemesis box, which is actually a premium boss focusing on the antagonist of the Kamen Rider series. And then I think they have like a box like just celebrating the Gekihadan anime series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one for that. Oh, and then there's also one for the
Grand Walkers.
the Grand Walker class. So like we have 5 premium boxes announced just from last month, and
Wow.
so like that was crazy. Like it was so hard to catch up everything. I mean, thankfully, I'm not interested in all of them, but like it's just like, what are you doing, Bandai? Like, why are you just like pumping up so many stuff? Like, is it just because it's the end of month? Like, I don't know, but like, well, end of the year, I mean, um, but like, it just feels very overwhelming, and I don't think that was a good marketing strategy. Not gonna lie.
True.
Yeah, it's hard if you don't space them out enough, and people have to choose, which one they actually want and that sort of thing.
Yeah. I missed out one already because I thought it's like the deadline was like the end of the month. Turns out it was the beginning of the month, and it's like, no.
But same though. I was like, yeah, I will check it out later. And then when I was checking out for the Pentan box, I was like, oh, so when is the fall? Why don't they tweet anything about the fall? Oh no.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh well. It just means we're spending less money.
I guess, yeah. Although
That's
Ayumu,
a good way to think about it.
yeah. Although Ayumu, there is something that we didn't miss this time. Because
What?
the Diva after party is finally here. It's not the fake news anymore, because like previously they have announced this set and then it just disappeared into thin air, and then now they are bringing it back. It's going to be released on
I think
March
they were delaying
15th.
it as well.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think it was just like a problem Battle Space Saga, but like just like all Bandai card games. I think like at this point it's because they're printing too many cards, and then they just like couldn't find any spaces to print more cards. So we got a set coming up that like they announced. Supposedly it was in like winter, so like around this time period, and then now they push it back to spring. So like I think there was like some printing problems within Bandai.
Oh.
Yeah, they just printing too many card games, and I don't know why. And like you gotta remember, there's actually still one more card game coming out from them. The Sandland PCG thing. Like I legit never heard of it. I mean like again, no offense, but like I only heard of it because the author of the Dragon Ball passed away. And then we realized, wait, so he actually made this other series called Sandland. And then like I just like never heard of it. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Like we Bandai just like making a lot of things, and then like people are just like not the most interested in, I would say.
True. But yeah. Speaking of collaboration, Julia, like we know that the logical one will be Gundam, given that they have the upcoming Gundam card game. But like, if you were to choose any one series, like what series would you bring to Battle Spirits actually?
Oh my. One that I would want, or one that I think would bring more people in to play the game?
Well, either one works.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just say which one you want. Yeah.
I think it would be adorable if like somehow like a Studio Ghibli collaboration.
Oh my god, that would be good. Yeah.
It would be so amazing, right? Or even like Sailor Moon would be so fun, or like even like some other, just to bring in other people who like that sort of idea. Yeah, or really anything. But for me, I think Studio Ghibli would just make sense to have some really fun. It's such like a creative world that would be so much fun to play as a card game.
True. Yeah, but like, it's I think it's a weird thing though, because like Studio Ghibli, well, I mean, how do I say it this way? Because I think like most of the time, kind of the movies, the stories are kind of portrayed in a way of like the saying like, oh, we don't like violence, and then so like So like if you collaborate with like card game, which is literally about battling each other, yeah, I don't know. It just feels very counterintuitive.
Nah. I mean, Battle Spirit is just a sport, isn't it?
No, but like you know like the theme within the card game.
Mm-mm.
I mean, obviously we all know it's just like a card game, but like
Mm-mm.
the theme within it is that literally the spirits are having war and
Mm.
everything like that. And then like so like if you put in like Ghibli into it, and then like it just like feels like kind of out of place. Like I mean I don't mind it, but it just feels out of place.
Mm.
Thing to be said too. I mean, sure, you attack and like you're attacking their life, but their life becomes resources, and there's
Mm.
more of this like circle and balance process that
Mm.
is maybe more in line with that than a typical like just grunt smash. Like it seems because I mean, there's a surprising amount of violence in some of the Ghibli films. I mean, it doesn't
Oh yeah,
necessarily,
for sure, yeah.
but
I mean to
I
be
mean,
fair, like they always present it as like a problem to resolve then.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so like in some ways, maybe if like not that we're designing the set, but if you almost had a theme and maybe there are keywords that kind of like align with that, or by not attacking, you get some sort of resource, or there's a way that you can kind of play into that theme within card mechanics and still honor like the idea behind
Mm.
the IP.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And at the very least, definitely something that the Japanese card game has been doing really well. Like, I think the Evangelion collaboration saga, they did kind of stick to the themes of like for like some cards. Like for example, like the Angel deck in general. Um, is for what was it? Yes, the Blue Angel deck. Yeah, yeah. So like it was it's a really minor kind of like reference that you get. Uh, but like nonetheless, I like that they included. But like it was the 13th angel, which require you to have one other angel to be on the field for the immunity to happen. And like that's because in the series, the angel actually came out one by one to try to disturb humanity instead of like just like coming out all at once.
Mm.
So that's why like kind of some of the cards kind of suggest you to only have one angel on the field at a time. So like they do focus on like kind of references. So like if they do have another collaboration, like well yeah, I do hope that they continue with that. Actually, yeah. Oh yeah, another example is actually Mark 6 because like well it's a really complicated story I guess, but like basically there was this one scene where like to keep it short, I mean Shinji was about to go berserk and then like Mark Six just like came down and just like throw the spear at him. It's just like no,
Mm.
and so like, that's why in the game like it's Mark Six is the card that kind of tries to negate summon effect because that's kind of the references that it's going for.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so it's pretty interesting.
Mm. Indeed. But Meow.
Well, I mean, since we mentioned Ghibli, maybe we can try to continue to go for that direction. Which movie is your favorite?
Of those, I would say
Yeah.
like my favorite, I think for a very long time has been Spirited Away.
Uh oh, it's the normie choice now.
Is it? I mean, well, also like Harry and I have just been rewatching all of them, kind of like as we test. So, um,
Mm.
really, I mean, I really love them all for different reasons. I think it's just because that also was the first one that I had seen. So,
Fair enough, yeah.
and it really like inspired me to like look at the others. So,
Yeah, like yeah, I was just joking, but obviously Spirited Away is like it's a very well made theme with a very like a very well made movie with a very solid theme behind and like obviously a really strong story. Like as obviously as someone who writes, it's definitely like a good reference to have when it comes to like how you want to structure your stories and everything like that. Um,
Yeah.
I started watching Ghibli with Totoro actually when I still remember clearly when I was 3 years old because my dad is a Ghibli fan, so like he just like made us watch a lot of Ghibli movies. Um, I think my for me my favorite one would be to be fair there are two. One is Nazca, and then
Mm.
the other one is when Marnie was there. Um, for me, when it comes to watching anything in general, like obviously the story is important, but I think for me, what I like to be, well, what I'm interested in more is actually the atmosphere. I think both Nasaka and when Mani was there, kind of just like made a really good atmosphere, like kind of in their content. Like with Nasaka, they just kind of focus on kind of the beauty of nature, I guess you can say, which is obviously like a major theme for the movie. And I just really love those moments when like Nazca is just like visiting, the forest nearby, just like taming the animals, those moments when like it just like feel very calm, very serene. Those are the moments that I like, and it's actually the same feeling with when Marnie was there. Um, which kind of like that's like kind of like a very relaxed feeling when like um the protagonist, can't remember her name, was like just basically just chilling in an abandoned mansion, and I just really like the feeling, especially since like the mansion was situated kind of by the seaside as well, which is like one of my favorite natural spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Theo? Have you watched a lot of Ghibli?
Um. So my favorite is also Spirited Away, mainly because it's the only one that I have watched so far. Yeah.
Uncultured swine.
Indeed.
Wow, you're really coming for us. I don't know.
Yeah.
Clearly, we outnumber you. So
Exactly. So yeah. I don't know why. I don't really think that the like when I was like growing up, like somehow the Ghibli movies just didn't come my way. I think like maybe I watched Kiki's Delivery Service, but just part of it. Like I went to like the video shop, like uh video shop, and then like so the one who like the guy who was like attending the shop just played it on the TV, and then I was like, yep, there's nothing to do, let's just watch. But I think it's not, yeah, it's not even complete. But yeah, after that I'm an adult, and then now I have a Netflix account, so I just browse to Netflix, and then they have like a Spirit Away, so let's watch it because like everyone said good things about it, and then like, yep, I went out of this understanding nothing, but it was a nice experience.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, I think another thing that like Spirited Away done really well is kind of the balance between um kind of horror and like kind of like the I don't know how to describe it, but like kind of the friendly aspect, I would call it that way. Because obviously Spirited Away is about spirits,
Mm-mm.
ghosts, or
Mm-mm.
like they would like to call it yokai in Japanese.
Mm-mm.
And obviously there are a lot of moments where like you would just like feel scared, especially with like the how I don't know how you call it in English, but the mask ghost, the black one with like a mask.
Mm-mm.
Um, I mean he was definitely a scary guy, obviously. Um, but like it's but like and so like what I really like basically is like how Spirited Away didn't like just like drift drift to like the extremity, like it's all because like, it's obviously a story about ghosts,
Mm-mm.
kind of.
Mm-mm.
So like you gotta make the ghost feels really, threatening, really scary. Uh but like obviously like, on the other hand, it's not the complete focus. It's about Chi. Well, that's a Japanese name. I don't know how you guys call it in English, but like about Chihiro trying to live with these beings. And so like, the stories also like have to try to draw out kind of friendliness from these, well, entities. And I just like really like the balance between the two. Like you feel really, I suppose you can say that you will feel really comfortable watching, the movie. But then at the same time, the movie would be constantly reminding you that like, these entities are still a threat to, to Chihiro. And but like, at the same time, sometimes, they can be really friendly as well. And I just really like that balance as well, actually. Yeah. Yeah, it's not just the muscles. Actually, when I was small, what I really dislike was well, I suppose you can say what I felt really scared of or flip out was actually, the three green hats in the head office. You know how there are like three hats that's like roll around. Uh, you guys know what I'm talking about.
I do, yeah. The green heads and make like a merp noise.
Yeah. I was actually really scared of them when I was small. I just felt really flip out. Yeah. But I don't know. Like now that I see it, it's actually kind of goofy. Oh, and actually, that reminds me. The bathhouse in Spirited Away is actually based on a real one. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's well, at least some people say it might be, but like, I actually don't think they confirmed it officially. But like they were saying that it's based on the Dogo Onsen, which is which was actually the only bathhouse that I've been to, and I didn't even realize it that like it has like a kind of like uh it inspired like the bathhouse in Spirited Away. I didn't realize at that time, but like now that I look back, it just feels really interesting that like I went to the Dogo Onsen. It just kind of feels like when you go to Cambridge and Oxford, and it's just like oh, this corridor was where they filmed Harry Potter. um, yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. I think Harry Potter they also filmed in where was it? Where was it? It was somewhere in Scotland. But like I went with my parents, and then like we basically walked into there's a lot of like English structures, they architecture, they have like a square courtroom. Well, not well courtyard, sorry. They have a square courtyard in the middle of the building. And then like you got like corridors all around it on all four sides. And then like we could just walk in there, and then I was like, this looks very familiar. And then like the tour guide told us that, oh yeah, this is actually where they filmed Harry Potter. And then there was also like a particular room um that they used to film like part of the stories as well, which was like really interesting. It just feels really nice when you just like visit places, and then you realize they're like, you know, supposedly famous scenes in like movies and stuff like that.
True. But yeah, since we have been talking for a while now, Julia, I think like there's probably like something that you have brought up earlier as well. Since generally speaking in trading card games, well, I mean like when I went to Europe, I think like I found like there are more female players playing trading card games, but how was it actually in the how do you find it in the US? Like, is there any challenges that you face, and do you have any messages to other? Well, probably our 0.5% of the female listeners who will probably want to play trading card game as well.
Well, it's funny because you mention it. It seems
Mm.
like it's definitely more male dominated in the US for sure. And maybe it's more, I would say more so in the US. I think that there is sort of this, maybe I'm just hypersensitive to it, but sort of there are some misogynistic like undertones and sort of this quickness to try to discredit female players and female voices
Oh
in
no,
the
like we are we definitely feel that
oh,
for the other games as well, actually, yeah.
so it's a little empowering, I will say, to like be doing well in, you know, arguably a pretty, you know, uh, it's a niche a game, but still something that's like, it's not, you know, it's not an easy game for sure. You know, there are some highly competitive people, and it's, you know, it's it feels validating that like, oh, like it's totally possible. You can, you know, you can do well. It doesn't just need to be like just for the boys kind of thing. So
Mhm.
I guess the message would be like, you know, anyone can play. I think that games and you know, card games in general, like it doesn't need to be just for one person, one type of person, one it's, you know, it really is something that everyone can join in. So that's my message, is that, you know, games and fun, it's for everyone.
Yeah, and I would say like obviously like especially whenever like you just in general whenever I try out new things, maybe like also like find one or two friends to join you so that you also like feel maybe like safer or like more confident to do
Mhm.
something as well. Because like we for from my community in a Japanese Battle Saga, well, what am I saying? Japanese Battle Spirits, we actually did also have one female player. And then obviously we were like constantly hang out together, you know, in like locals and everything like that. And like it was weird. Like there was this one time where like we're just like playing and then like there were a few like unknown players just like walk by and then they saw her and then they're like they basically scoffed and that's just like saying she wouldn't play well for some reasons and then also like just like commented on her face as well and then and it was like what the heck are you guys talking about? It's like it was so weird. Like how were you able to like say that right in front of people?
Yeah, I mean, it's been less of an issue, I think, in Battle Spirits, and I think because it's also a small enough community where people know each other and we've played against each other enough at you know, beyond a certain point. But I went with some friends to, it was a Magic pre-release. This was a, maybe it was over the summer, late summer, and I got paired with someone round one, and I basically, you know, was silly where I rolled and I went to draw, and he basically, oh no, you like, you need to just tell me who's going first, right? Because I had rolled high roll. I was like, oh sorry, it's like the other game I play is you always look first. And so he started kind of talking down to me. He was like, oh, do you know what you're doing? Do you like, have you ever played this game before? If you need help, let me know. Like, not in a nice way, but sort of in a condescending way. And I
Mm.
basically like saw red and I was like, oh, it's on. And I went to 2-0 him and he like could not handle it. So actually I won the whole event too. And so it was a little like it's just, it's interesting to see. There was quite a bit more too, where it constantly was this messaging of like, oh, like she couldn't possibly know what she's doing. She's never played this game before. And it's very, I think that's like very common. And I will say, full transparency, I've taken advantage of that before. Specifically in Magic, where if people sort of treat me that way, I just kind of like pretend like I don't know what I'm doing and be like, "Oh, what happens if I do this?" And they're like, "Oh, you win the game." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, actually I do win the game." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." It's very much, you know, you can have fun with it, but I think at a certain point there is this feeling that people try to other and be like, "Oh, well, this isn't your space." And I'm like, "Well, actually it is. It's for anyone. This isn't like a private this isn't a private thing, and you trying to like keep it exclusive actually only hurts the game, I think. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
so a message to all players, like just be inclusive and kind, and like if someone needs help, help them. If they don't, like treat them like, you know, with respect, like across the board. Because you
Yeah.
never know
Like,
who you're
yeah.
against.
Go on.
Really,
Yeah.
it could be a total newbie, or it could be someone who's experienced. It could be anything, but just give people the benefit of the
Yeah, like as I always say, like when I face anyone in tournaments, I just treat that they know everything. No, just so like obviously you can play better yourself, and also just like to make sure that you're giving the proper respect to your opponents. Yeah.
True.
And it doesn't take much energy just to be kind. So when in doubt,
Yeah. Especially this is a game where you need to think. So put the thing on the right direction. Think about your strategy, not whether your opponent can play or not. Just in general.
True.
Exactly.
I like that.
yeah. And if they make a mistake, just like I'm pretty sure it's like, do you mind if we reread the card? Like I usually like some people will be quick to be like, oh, you're wrong, and I'm like, well, actually, can we read the card again? Because there's so many interactions. You never know. Or for example, like there was an instance, I won't say specifically what it was, but there was someone who misplayed a card across from me. But like the way that I said it was like, do you mind if we reread the card again? And then by rereading the card, you know, the player self-corrected, and then we went on. And it didn't need to be like, oh, well, you're wrong. You don't know how to play the game. It's oh, that's right. I guess I just didn't. And I mean, I've done it too, especially like with the new set 6 cards. Sometimes I don't know every little nuance of it, and you can make a mistake. That's why you practice. So that hopefully you make fewer.
Yeah.
I mean, even sometimes the first time I played the Ira deck, of course, it was the first time I was on stream for the event I mentioned earlier. I made a bunch of mistakes because I had never even like tested that deck before I ran it. So it was, and some of them were just suboptimal. There were a couple where I was like, oh, I actually didn't know that interaction worked that way, and we were able to like fix it. But you know, it happens. I made mistakes. I learned from them. And like that's the beautiful thing is we can actually learn from our mistakes.
In the very did. Fail fast. What was the thing again? Fail fast, succeed fast. I guess.
Wait.
Yeah, that's a Silicon Valley thing. I always forget about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Comes with it's I mean like that's probably the closest thing I have to American culture, just because I used to work in startups. So of course like for startups, usually like how to say, like the guiding, like the role model is usually like the Silicon Valley companies. I guess that's just part of the thing. And then like my boss will give me like all these books that were like written by people from Silicon Valley, and then I was like, oh, this doesn't this doesn't sound like science. Yeah, I really like how they really like try to convince you that what they are saying is basically like something that is proven from like a sample size of 1, and then they are trying and then they are like writing it as they are like trying to apply that method in another company, and then they have like a marginal improvement, and then like, yeah, see, it works. It's like, oh yeah, it works. But yeah, it's kind of endearing in a way, but yeah, it was kind of frustrating at times because it was like, yeah, believe me, we did it, and then like the next chapter we got bankrupt. It's like,
oh, that was fast.
Wow. I know that we have to fail fast, but that's a little bit too fast.
Yeah. Oh my god.
My goodness. Have you? Yeah. So since like one of the American spirit is like for entrepreneurship, have you ever tried to start your own business actually, or have that ever crossed your mind?
to have my own business?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I do run my own business. So I do a variety of things, but one of the things I do, and I've been doing a lot lately, I'm a basically for hire stylist for celebrity clients, and I also do custom tailoring for like fashion houses. So usually, like, I mean, I had a piece that was for a nominee for an awards. It's the beginning of award season right now. That I worked on yesterday and walked yesterday, which was pretty cool. But basically, like, working with celebrity clients, making them look the best that they can. And then I also do work through film and television. I do costume and fashion design.
Oh, that's really cool though.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
totally unrelated to like the card game world, but it's just a different part. It's my other side, my other life, and I'm also a huge nerd, and I really like card games and cute Japanese things, and so it's like nation. People contain multitudes,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, normally speaking, I'm a software engineer or nerds. What am I talking about? I'm already a nerd, like, in and out. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't do it myself, but I also have like helped design and build a lot of like cosplay things for other nerds and stuff like that too. Like it's there's crossover with everything, right? There's a way to always make what you love, work for you.
True. Yeah, even now when I'm working as a waiter, there's that one time where I actually was able to poison our playlist with because like we are a restaurant, right? So we need to play something in the background, and then I just put in like one Japanese song, and then like and then I got the Japanese song into the system, and then now yes, I love my work. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's really interesting. I finally know what you did for a living, kind of. But yeah. Although
Yeah. Most people know, but I don't, not everyone does.
Yeah, because like I think I heard like pieces of the story before, but now I know the context.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have a movie coming out on Netflix. I think it's February. And I guess the biggest project that I've done recently was called Mr. and Mrs. Smith for Amazon Studios. And it came out, oh my goodness. It came out 2020. No, actually it came out this year. Because we filmed it. Yes, it actually came out just this past winter. Sorry, I lost track of time. But it took a while for us to film it, and we also filmed a good portion of it in Italy, near where we had the grand open in Milan.
Oh,
nice.
All related.
I was just like I was looking at the synopsis actually, and I think like the concept is just like really interesting in general, like new identities in an arranged marriage. You know what that reminds me of? Spy Family.
It's very loosely based on the movie from that Brad Pitt and Angelina were in, I guess, the early 2000s. But it's not really. It's just like an odd couple that gets paired together, and they're both kind of like spy assassins, and
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting sort of idea, and just to see how people react when they're in that sort of situation. And it's like, oh, are they growing closer because it's Stockholm syndrome, or is it like, do they generally like each other? And oh, is it like, are they who can you trust? And like, there's a lot of intrigue, a lot of fashion. The Italian episodes are just beautiful, even just from like the cinematography is incredible. We shot in Lake Como and also in Italian Alps for there's a like a ski episode. And so it was, I mean, it really is, they're just beautiful. So highly recommend those.
Yep. Do check them out. I think they are on Amazon Prime now, at least in the EU.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Advertisement. Let's go.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, I you know, helped to do this. I don't work for them directly anymore, but it's still, you know, still my work, and feel free to look if it
Yeah, of
interests
course.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, then speaking of, like, we already know that your dream for Saga is definitely to win the Worlds. But like, then do you have any particular dream for your professional life? Do you have any particular celebrity or like particular franchise that you might want to work with?
Yeah. I mean, I have wanted for a long time to design for any sort of fantasy or sci-fi series. I think it would be incredible to do anything related to Japan. There is in the works actually like a live action Legend of Zelda, which would just be incredible to have anything to do with, and to actually like do it justice, because I feel like something like that, if it's not someone who is a true fan of like the actual mythology into that series, it would, I think it'd do it a big service. So it's like I would love to be able to be the nerd who can bring the fashion to something like that. Something like I grew up with, and so having that, like the duality of those things come together would be really beautiful. And so I would love to do that, or any sort of new series that is intriguing where you get to do like world building and like the production design, bring to life a whole new world and new ideas, and like get to make up the rules on your own, and make it look really just beautiful and striking. That would be a beautiful dream. I have worked on projects and worked on, you know, certain things that have been nominated for like Emmys and that sort of thing. So the general goal is, you know, it would be nice to win one of those, if, you know, if at all possible. But really it's also like getting to create things that inspire people.
Yeah, I definitely share the same feeling as someone who tries to write.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I remember watching certain things, like even like the Lord of the Rings series was a huge inspiration for me. Just to see like how many things were created and were real, and made beautiful specifications. It's like, this is a fantasy, and it is being represented in a way where we know it's not real, but they made it look so real, and just the aesthetic behind it, and it really was done so intentionally, from a design standpoint, that it made me want to create worlds like that. So like I would love to be able to have the opportunity to do that, and even like inspire the next generation of people to go that next step further.
Yeah, I do share that sentiment as well. Hopefully one day. But that, yeah. But yeah, you definitely have inspired us today, Julia. Thank you very much for coming today. It has been a really nice to be talking with you today.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so yeah, if you guys have anything you want to ask Julia, we can of course pass it to her if you want. But if you have anything else, do feel free to send your comments, requests, or questions to our email at therefreshsteppodcast@gmail.com. So yeah, thank you once again, Julia, for coming today. I hope you had fun, and yeah, maybe one day we can have you again in the podcast.
Yeah, it would be a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But yeah, I guess that has been everything that we can share for this week. We hope that you guys have a nice week going forward, and we'll see you all in the next turn. Bye bye.
Bye bye.